Good morning, students. So yesterday we have learned about how to add and subtract integers, right? We have learned the 4 rules, and from that is where we are going to continue from today, alright? So since yesterday we have seen the rules and we have seen how to add and subtract 2 or more integers, 2 integers. Yesterday we have seen 2 integers. So today we are going to learn with more integers, okay? We are going to add and subtract more integers and learn it more deeply, alright? So let's see. Let's take examples and learn, right? So what better way than learn with examples, yes or no? So let's start with examples. The first example. Now look, yesterday we have taken 2 integers, right? And you all know that in order to add or subtract, how many integers do you need at least? You need 2, right? Now if I tell you 1 and I tell you add, what will you do? You don't know what to do because you have only one number, that is 1, right? But at the same time, if I tell you 1 and 2, I give you 1 and 2 and tell you to add, what will you do? 1 plus 2, you get 3, right? So that is how we do. So we have to take 2 numbers at a time in order to add or subtract, right? So look at this. There are 3 integers. What are the integers? First integer is minus 30, right? Second integer is plus 10, right? And the third integer is minus 20, right? So can you see these 3 integers? Yes. So minus 30 plus 10 and minus 20 are the integers, right? So minus 30 plus 10 minus 20 are the integers. Now we are going to solve this and find the answer. Now look here. First take 2 at a time. Okay, there is no order. It can be from the back side also, it can be from the front side also. You can take any 2 numbers from the front or from the back. Okay, so since from the front is common, it's usual, right? So everyone will do from the front. So let's take from the front itself. Now the first 2 integers. What are the first 2 integers? Minus 30 and 10, right? We take the first 2 integers and we apply the rule on the first 2 integers. Now look here. What rule do we apply? This is minus and this is plus. So which rule? Minus plus. What is minus plus? Minus according to the rule, right? So 30 minus 10 is 20, right? So what did we do? We took 30 and we took 10 and we applied the rule. What is the rule? Minus plus. What do we have to do? Minus. So we minus both the numbers, right? So we minus both the numbers. What is the number? 30 and 10. We minus those numbers. We subtracted those numbers. What did we get? 30 minus 10, we got 20. Now what is the sign of 20? It is the greater number sign. So what is the greater number? 30 is the greater number. And what is the sign of 30? Minus is the sign of 30, right? So we put minus 20. So our answer is minus 20, right? Now one more number is left. We write as it is. What is the number left? Minus 20 is left. So we write it as it is, right? Now again, we have 2 numbers. So we solve it. 20, 20. Can you see that both the numbers are minus 20 and minus 20? What is minus 20 and minus 20? We apply the rule again. Both the numbers are negative. Minus 20, minus 20, minus, minus, plus. So we add the numbers, right? What is the addition of 20 and 20? 40. 20 plus 20 is 40, right? And what is the sign of this answer? Minus, minus. What is the sign? We have to look at the greater number sign. What is the greater number here? There's no greater and smaller. Both the numbers are same. 20 and 20, right? So what is the sign of 20? Minus is the sign of 20. So minus will be the sign of the answer. So this is how you solve, okay? Now, let me show you another example. Now look at this. What is the sign of 40? Minus. What is the sign of 30? Plus. What is the sign of 10? Plus. Because we know that when there is a number, the sign that is on the left side of the number will be the sign of the number. Right? The sign that is on the left side of the number will be the sign of the number. Alright? So now let's look at this. Let's take the first 2 numbers, 40 and 30. Look at the signs. Minus plus. What do? Minus. Rule. Minus plus, minus. Right? So 40 minus 30, 10, right? And what will be the sign of 10? Minus plus. Which one is the greater number? 40 is the greater number, right? So 40 sign, what is the sign of 40? Minus. So greater number sign will be the answer sign, right? So what is the answer sign? Minus, right? And what is left? Plus 10 is left, right? Now again we have two numbers. Look at the numbers, minus 10 and plus 10. What is the sign? Plus, minus, minus, right? What do we do according to the rule? Plus, minus, minus. So we have to minus it, we have to subtract it. 10 minus 10 is 0. Now, do we have to put any sign for the 0? No, because 0 is the only number which does not have any sign, right? In yesterday's video, we have already seen 0 does not have any sign, right? So 0 is there. So that's the answer. Alright? Now, let me show you some more examples. Now look at this. 3 numbers again. Look, minus plus. What do we do first? First we take the 2 numbers. Minus plus minus. So 42 minus 2 is 40. Right? And what would be the sign of 40? Greater number. What is the greater number? 42 or 2? 42 is greater. So 42 sign will be 40 sign. Right? Plus what is left? Minus 4 is left. Right? Now again the rule. Minus minus plus. So we add them. 40 plus 4, 44. Again the rule. What is the rule? What will be the sign of 44? Greater number sign. What is the greater number? 40 is the greater number. So we have to write minus 40. Why? Because 40 sign is also minus. Right? Greater number sign. Right? So answer is minus 40. Okay? Now write this question and try to do it by yourself. I need all these classworks that I'm giving you, I need it in your notebook when you come to submit your notebook, alright? When you come to school the next time, I am going to check all these, okay? Please do this question, alright? Okay, so now we saw 3 numbers. Now, let's see about 4 numbers. First example of 4 numbers. How many numbers are there here? 4 numbers. What is the first number? 2, 1, 3 and 4. What is the sign? What is the sign of 2? Minus. What is the sign of 1? Plus. What is the sign of 3? Plus. What is the sign of 4? Minus, right? So we have 4 numbers. So how do we solve 4 numbers? 4 numbers solving is also the same as 3 numbers itself. When we had 3 numbers, what did we do? First we took 2 numbers, solved it, got an answer, right? And after getting the answer, we plus or minus whatever sign according to the sign, we use this and we add it or subtract it with the third number, right? So likewise, in 4 numbers also, what will we do? We'll first use 2 numbers and find the answer. Then we'll add it with the third one and find the answer, and that answer will calculate it with the fourth one. Okay, so that is what we're going to do. Simple steps, right? So let's write first 2 numbers, 2 and 1. What do? You look at the sign, minus plus. What is the answer? Minus plus, what do? We minus it, right? So 2 minus 1 is 1? 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, right? Now answer should have a sign. What is the sign of 1? Minus plus. Can you look at the numbers? 2 and 1. Which one is greater? 2 is greater. What is the sign of 2? Minus. So that will be the sign of the answer according to the rule, right? Now what is left? 2 and 1 you already do. What is left? 3 and minus 4 is left. So plus 3 minus 4, right? Whatever is left, you write it in the next step. Again you calculate. Whatever is left, you write it in the next step, alright? So now let's calculate this. Again we take 2 numbers, right? This now has 3 numbers. Which means we have to do the same thing that we did in the previous question, right? So 2 numbers again, 1 and 3. What is it? Minus plus. What do we do according to the rule? Minus. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Now, what is the sign of 2? Greater number sign. So what is the greater number here? 3 is the greater number. And what is the sign of 3? Plus. So the answer will also have plus sign. So plus 2 minus 4. Now, is it necessary to write plus 2? No, because if I write only 2 also, it means plus 2, right? We have seen this in the previous video, right? Yes. So, now we have 2 numbers. Now look at it, plus and minus. So obviously, plus minus is what? Minus. So 4 minus 2 is 2. Now, what sign will the answer have? Look at the numbers that you calculated. Which one is the greater number? 4 is the greater number. What is the sign of 4? Minus is the sign of 4. So what will be the answer sign? Minus. Okay? So minus 2 is your answer. Alright? So this is how you do 4 numbers. Now let's look at another example. Now look at this. There are 4 numbers again. Let's do it. What do we do first? We take the first 2 numbers. What are the first 2 numbers? 10 and 20. What is the sign? Minus, minus. What do you do? Minus, minus, plus, according to the rule, right? So minus, minus, plus. So 10 plus 20, 30. What is the answer sign? Greater number sign. Greater number is 20, has sign minus. So minus 30, right? Plus, whatever is left, you write it as it is. Plus 30 minus 50. Right? Now again, the same step repeats. 30 and 30 are the 2 numbers that we consider. Look at the signs. Minus, plus. What do we do? Minus. So 30 minus 30, 0. Does 0 have a sign? No. So you don't put any sign for 0. Right? What is left? Minus 50 is left. Right? As it is. Right? Now look at plus, minus. Right? Plus, minus. And also, without any plus, minus also you can do this. Any number minus that number is what? That number itself, right? Any number minus 0 is what? That number itself, right? So 0 minus 50 is what? 50 itself. And what is the greater number here? 50 is the greater number. What is the sign of 50? Minus. So the answer will also be minus, right? 0 minus any number is that number itself, right? So minus 50 is our answer. Okay? One more question and then I'll give you class work. One more example. Now look at this example. How many numbers? Again, 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 numbers. Right? How do we solve? First take the first 2 numbers. 4 and 2. Look at the sign. Minus, minus. What do? Plus. Because of the rule, right? Minus, minus, plus. So 4 plus 2, 6. What is the sign of 6? Minus. Why? 4 is a greater number. 4 has minus sign. So minus 6, minus 5, minus 10. Right? Now, minus 5, minus 6. Again, you take 2 numbers. Look at the sign. Minus, minus. What do? Plus. So, 6 plus 5, 11. Minus, minus 10. Right? Whatever is left, you write it below. Right? Now, look here. Minus, minus again, you plus. What do? 11 plus 10. What is 11 plus 10? 21. Right? And minus, minus. Which one is the greater number? 11 is the greater number. What is the sign of 11? Minus. So the answer will also have minus sign. So minus 21 is your answer. Okay? From this example, you can also see one more thing. Look at that. Minus, 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 minus. Which means you took 4 negative integers. Okay? Whenever you add 4 negative integers, okay, or any number of negative integers, whenever you take all negative integers and add them, what answer do you get? That will also be negative. Okay, look here, negative, 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 negative. So the answer is also negative. Okay, when you take all the integers negative, the answer that you produce will also be negative. Okay, so that is one of the things that you need to notice from this example. Okay, now take the next example down and you please try it by yourself. Next question. Please do it by yourself. 4 numbers. The same rule applies. Okay. Now, after seeing the addition and subtraction of 4 numbers, okay, after seeing the addition of 4 numbers and the addition of 3 numbers, okay, or the calculation of 3 numbers and the calculation of 4 numbers, you must have understood that for 5 numbers, for 6 numbers, for 7 numbers, etc., the same procedure will keep continuing. What is the procedure? You take 2 numbers first, add it or subtract it, right? Then you take that answer and you involve it with the third one. Then you take that answer and you involve it with the fourth one, etc. You keep continuing that process, okay? So once you'll take 2 numbers at a time, okay? So you'll take 2 numbers at a time, find the answer, take the next number, find the answer, again take the next number, find the answer, and keep continuing that process for finding the final answer. Okay, and every step make sure that you are calculating according to the rule, because these are not just positive numbers but negative numbers also. And negative numbers and positive numbers are entirely different from each other, which means minus 15 is completely different from 15, which means if you get the answer and you write 15 instead of minus 15 and the correct answer is minus 15, which means you will not get the marks. Why? Because 15 is not the correct answer. Minus 15 is the answer, and minus 15 and 15 are completely different numbers. Alright? So make sure that you calculate according to the rule that have been given to you, according to the 4 rules. Okay? And look, these are very simple questions. So your text has a lot of questions based on this, okay? Similar questions. Or you can even create your own questions and keep practicing. Only then these rules will come into your mind, alright? And make sure that you learn these right now itself properly. Why? Because in class 8, in class 9 and in all the higher classes, wherever you use calculation, these type of calculations will be the basic, alright? These type of calculations will definitely be needed in all of the classes. So make sure that you have learned this properly, and then you're going on to the next topic, alright? So now, keeping all these things in mind that we have done yesterday and today, we can start our first exercise, okay? So first exercise is in page number 4 of your text, and we're going to do the first question of the first exercise, okay? So this is a line, right? So now look at this. This is the question, right? This is the question. What is this? This is a number line. As you can see, this is a number line. A line on which numbers have been marked. What type of numbers are there? Negative numbers as well as positive numbers. That means integers are marked on this line, right? Now look at this. These are all places. Lahore Spiti, Srinagar, Shimla, Ooty, Bengaluru. These are all places, right? Now they have told us, following number line shows the temperature in degrees Celsius at different places on a particular day. Okay? So now, how do you measure temperature in degrees Celsius, right? See, degrees Celsius is the unit in which you measure temperature. Okay? That you might already know, you're in class 7, right? Just like length, how do you say length? Centimeter, meter, etc. Kilometer, etc. Right? How do you express money? Rupees, dollars, yen, etc. Right? So likewise, temperature is also expressed in 2 units. What are the units? Degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit, right? So here they have told us that these are the numbers that have been marked on a number line, and these numbers show us the temperature, okay? The temperature, the degree of hotness and coldness at particular places. So what are the places? Lahore City, Srinagar, Shimla, Ooty and Bengaluru, okay? So the first question, part A, what does it tell us? Observe this number line and write the temperature of the places marked on it. So what is the question? We have to observe this number line and we have to write the temperature of that particular place that has been marked on it, okay? So let's see. First place, Lahore City. Lahore City. So what is the temperature at Lahore City? Now look at minus 10. So when we look at minus 10, we know that when we look at the number line, we know that all the positive numbers lie on the right side and all the negative numbers lie on the left side, right? So likewise, when we look at this, 0 is the center point, and from 0, it keeps on increasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And we have these small lines in between, right? These small lines are 1, 1, 1, 1 gap, right? Because this is 0 and 5, which means 0 and 5. So the numbers in between are divided between 0 and 5. So from 0 to reach 5, what should we do? We should make this small line 1, this small one 2, this small one 3, and this small one 4, and then 5, right? So we count and we write, okay? So now look at this. So either we can count from this side or we can count back backwards also. Backwards when we count, look at it, 10 becomes 5, then 5 becomes 0. That means it's going to become lesser, right? In that direction when you go, it becomes lesser, right? So now let's see. Minus 10, what is the temperature at Lahore Spiti? Lahore Spiti is marked on this line. So which means it is minus 10, minus 9, minus 8. So what is the temperature at Lahore Spiti? Minus 8. What is the temperature at Lahore Spiti? Minus 8 degree Celsius is the temperature at Lahore Spiti. Now can you tell me what is the temperature at Srinagar? Srinagar it is minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2. Because Srinagar is marked on minus 2. This same question you can do it even in this manner also. 0. From 0 you can start counting. 0, minus 1, minus 2. Right? So you get the same answer. So what is the temperature of Srinagar? Srinagar, you get minus 2 degree Celsius. What is the temperature? Minus 2 degree Celsius. So likewise when you look at Shimla, let's look at Shimla. Shimla. Okay, let's look at Shimla. What is the temperature in Shimla? 5 degrees Celsius, because Shimla is already marked on 5 degrees Celsius, right? So I write 5 degrees Celsius, right? So likewise, can I find Ooty and Bengaluru? Can you try once? Ooty and Bengaluru. Ooty and Bengaluru. Can you try Ooty and Bengaluru? Start counting from Shimla, 10, start counting. So look here, Ooty, how do I count? 5, then 10, right? So from either I can count from 15 backwards because it's coming and becoming less. 15 becomes 10, so which means it's going to become less when you count the side, right? And when you go that side, it's going to increase. So I can either count like this, 11, 12, 13, 14, or I can count like this, 15, 14, right? So 14 degrees Celsius. Ooty has temperature 14 degrees Celsius. Now what kind of 14? Plus, because all the numbers at the side are plus, right? Now next is Bengaluru. Let's see Bengaluru. Which one? 21, 22. 20, 21, 22. Okay? Please make sure that you have the textbook. Your textbook is open in front of you and you're counting and doing exactly what I am doing so that you will understand. Okay? So please try that. So Bengaluru, if you want, you can pause the video here and then you can go through the text. You can see the question, you can try it by yourself, right? And then you can again play the video, alright? So Bengaluru, what is the temperature at Bengaluru? 21, 22 degrees Celsius. Right? So what is the temperature at Bengaluru? 22 degrees Celsius. Alright? So this is the first part of the question. This is question number 1A. Alright? This is the answer for question number 1A. We were told to observe the number line and to find out the temperature at the different places. So we looked at the number line, we counted according to the number line and we found out each temperature of each place. Alright? So the next question. Okay, so now we have the temperatures of all the different places, right? Now look at it. Look at the text. B. What is the temperature difference between the hottest and the coldest place among the above? So what does difference mean? What does difference mean? Now look, understand the meaning of the word difference. Look at it. Suppose you have 10 rupees in your hand. Okay? And suppose I have 5 rupees in my hand. Okay? Suppose you have 10 rupees and I have 5 rupees. Okay? You have 10 rupees and I have 5 rupees. Now, what is the difference between the amount that we have? 10 minus 5, we have 5 rupees difference, right? So that is a difference. Difference means what? Subtraction. In order to find the difference, what do? We subtract, right? Suppose, imagine that we have 5 sweets and I have 2 sweets. What is the difference? What is the difference between our sweets? 3 sweets. The difference of 3 sweets we have, right? So that means difference means subtraction. Difference means subtraction. Yes or no? So keeping that in mind, they have asked us what is the temperature difference. So what do we have to find? We have to find the temperature difference. Temperature difference. to find? We have to find the temperature difference, that is unknown, right? Temperature difference between what? Between the hottest and the coldest place. So, hottest and the coldest place. We have to find the temperature difference. Difference means minus subtraction between the hottest place and the coldest place. Right? So now, look at the temperatures that we have already written. Can you tell me which one is the hottest place and the coldest place? Please look at it and think. Which one is the hottest place and the coldest place? Okay, so Lahore Spiti. I am just writing short forms, but you need to write full forms, alright? So Lahore Spiti, what was the temperature? 12. What was the temperature? 8 degrees Celsius, minus 8 degrees Celsius, right? And what was the temperature of Srinagar? Srinagar, it was 2 degrees Celsius, minus 2 degrees Celsius, right? And what was the temperature of Shimla? It was 5 degrees Celsius. Temperature of Ooty was 14 degrees Celsius. And what was the temperature of Bengaluru? What was the temperature of Bengaluru? It was 22 degrees Celsius, right? Lahore Spiti was minus 8, Srinagar was minus 4, Srinagar was minus 2, sorry, Shimla was 5, and Ooty was 14, and Bengaluru was 22, right? Now looking at this, see, look, which one is the highest number here? Minus 8. Minus 2. Definitely is going to be less because it's negative numbers, right? So which one is the highest? 14, 20, 25. Around 14, 20, 25. Which one is the highest? 22 is the highest. So, hottest temperature. Hottest temperature means the highest temperature, right? So the hottest temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. Yes or no? 22 degrees Celsius is the hottest temperature, right? Now look, when we're doing these questions, please make sure that you're trying to understand it, okay? Don't busy copy down the notes, because copying the notes, you can do it later. We'll be providing you notes, alright? So you will just have to copy down those notes from the notes that we're providing, alright? So once you watch the video, once you understand the video, you can just keep your copy, you can just keep your notes, and you can refer to the video and understand, okay? Understand both at the same time, you can do that, alright? So please don't take down the notes while I'm explaining. Please understand and concentrate on the video while I'm explaining, alright? So that you will understand it, okay? Now look at hottest temperature. Hottest temperature we found that is 22 degrees Celsius, right? And what is the coldest temperature here? Coldest temperature. Look at all the numbers. Look at all the numbers. 22, 40, 5, minus 2 and minus 8. Which one is the least one? Can you tell me? Minus 2. Look. If I draw this on the number line, you already have a number line in your book, right? You already have a number line in your text, right? Now look at this number line. Look at this. Lahore Spiti and Srinagar. Which one's more? Minus 10 or minus 5 is more? Minus 10 or minus 5 is more? Obviously, minus 5 is more. Why? Because when you take two numbers on the number line, the number that is on the right hand side is more than the number that is on the left hand side. That is what we studied in the first class. That is what we studied yesterday, right? So keeping that in mind, can you see that minus 2, then comes minus 5, then comes minus 8 degrees Celsius. So which one is the least one? Minus 8 degrees Celsius, right? Which one lies away from 8? Away from 0, that will be the least one, right? So minus 8 degrees Celsius. So minus 2 and minus 8 are the least temperatures here. But among minus 2 and minus 8, which one's more or less? Which one's the lesser one? When you take minus 2 and minus 8, two numbers, which one is on the right side? On the right side it is minus 2 and on the left side is minus 8. So that means the number on the left side is smaller. So minus 8 degrees Celsius is the least temperature, right? So the coldest temperature. Coldest place means what? The place with the least temperature, right? So the coldest temperature is minus 8 degrees Celsius and the highest temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. Okay? So what are they telling us to find out? They're telling us to find out the temperature difference. Difference means what? Subtraction, right? Like we understood before, right? Difference means subtraction. Now here what do we have to subtract? Temperature, right? So that means temperature difference. So I can write therefore temperature difference. Temperature difference is, what is the temperature difference? 22 degrees Celsius minus 8 degrees Celsius. Can you try to calculate that once? 22 degrees Celsius minus 8 degrees Celsius. Please try to calculate that once. Just like we used the rule before, the first rule. So, can you see? There are two numbers, right? And there's minus, minus. So, what do we do? Two numbers, 22 and 8. Minus, minus, what is the rule? Plus. So, what do? We add them. 22 plus 8, 30, right? And what is the greater number here? 22 is the greater number. What is the sign of 22? Plus. So, that means answer will also be plus, right? So, 30 degrees Celsius. Okay? 30 degrees Celsius, right? So, now temperature difference is 30 degrees Celsius, alright? So, now look here. The temperatures at different places was given. We have written those temperatures. First we found out individual temperatures of every place. Then we looked at all the temperatures and found out by comparison that the hottest temperature is 22 degrees Celsius and the coldest temperature is minus 8 degrees Celsius. For this, in order to identify this hottest and coldest, you need to know how to identify which number is smaller, which number is greater. And for that, you need to be thorough with the first video, alright? Then, coming, they asked us temperature difference. What is the temperature difference? Now, in order to understand what is the temperature difference, we need to subtract, right? So, we subtract from the greater number, we subtract the lesser number. So, we subtract it and we get 30 degrees Celsius. How do we subtract? Using the rule that I taught you in the beginning, alright? So, that is part B of the question. Now, let's look at part C of the question. What is the temperature difference between Lahul Spiti and Srinagar? Again, we are going to find out temperature difference, which means we are going to subtract two temperatures, right? But here they have told us exactly which temperatures to subtract. Which temperatures should we subtract? The temperatures of Lahul Spiti and Srinagar, alright? So that's what we're going to do. Now, temperature at Lahul Spiti. What is the temperature at Lahul Spiti? What is the temperature at Lahul Spiti? Minus 8 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature at Srinagar? Minus 2 degrees Celsius. So now we have to subtract the temperature between Lahul Spiti and Srinagar. So therefore I can write temperature difference. Temperature difference is, what is the difference? Difference means subtraction, right? So subtraction. So minus 8 minus 2, right? Minus 8 minus 2. So minus 8 plus 2. Why plus 2? Because minus 8 will remain the same. Minus will become plus and then 2, right? The rule. Do not forget how to use the rule. So minus plus. So minus 8 plus 2. So again minus plus minus. So 8 minus 2 is 6. What will be the sign of 6? Minus, because 8 is a greater number and it has minus sign. So 6 degrees Celsius. 6 degrees Celsius is the difference between minus 6 degrees Celsius is the difference between Lahul Spiti and Srinagar. That by looking at the question itself also you can understand. Okay, minus 8 and minus 2. What is the difference? What is the difference between minus 8 and minus 2 numbers? Minus 6 obviously, right? And how did you find the difference? By subtracting. So what is the temperature difference? Minus 6 degrees Celsius. Alright. So that is the C part of the question. Now let's do the D part of the question. Can we say temperature at Srinagar and Shimla taken together is less than the temperature at Shimla? Okay. Now look at the question asked us. In the question they are asking us, can we say the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together? Okay, so we're going to take the temperature of Shimla and Srinagar taken together. Look, temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together. What is the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together? What does taken together means? Taken together means to add, right? To bring together means to add, right? So what is the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla? Srinagar is 2 degrees Celsius plus. Why plus? Because we are taking them together, right? So if I have one sweet and I have 2 sweets in this hand, and if I want to take them together, what do? In this one sweet, I put the 2 sweets and I take 3 sweets together, right? So likewise, taking together means to add, okay? To add, okay? So that means minus 2 degrees Celsius plus, what is the temperature of Shimla? Okay, the temperature of Shimla, 5 degrees Celsius. I'm going to add 9 degrees Celsius. So now I have taken temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together, right? Plus means taken together, right? So minus plus, minus. 5 minus 2, 3. And minus of plus, because 5 is the greater number, 5 sign, right? So 3 degrees Celsius is our answer, right? Now this is not what we have to find out. We have to find out, they are asking us, can we say that temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together is less than the temperature at Shimla? So look at here. They are telling us whether, they are asking us whether this temperature that we got, okay, the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together is lesser or greater than the temperature at Shimla, okay. So that is what they are asking us, whether it's lesser or greater than the temperature at Shimla. So let's look at the temperature at Shimla. Temperature at Shimla is 5 degrees Celsius. So can we say that it's less than? Yes, we can say, right? So can we say temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together is less than the temperature of Shimla? Yes, we can say that the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together is less than the temperature at Shimla, right? So, yes. Yes is our answer. And why? Because Shimla's temperature, 5 degrees Celsius, is greater than 3 degrees Celsius that we got right now, right? So, the temperature of Shimla, which is 5 degrees Celsius, is greater than the temperature of Shimla and Srinagar taken together. So, we can say that it is less than, right? So, that is the fourth part of the question. Again, fourth part of the question, D has a little bit more part left. They ask us, is it also less than the temperature at Shimla? Look at this. The temperature of Shimla and Srinagar taken together, is it also less than this temperature at Srinagar? Is it? Look at it. 3 degrees Celsius and minus 2 degrees Celsius. What is the lesser one? Minus 2 is lesser than 3 degrees Celsius, right? So we cannot say that this is lesser, right? So our answer of the second part is no, it is not less than. It is not less than temperature at Shimla, right? It is not less than the temperature at Srinagar. It is not less than the temperature at Srinagar. Why? What is the reason? Because minus 2 degrees Celsius is lesser than 3 degrees Celsius. Okay? So that is what we saw. So the part D, let me explain it once more. So part D of the question asked us, first they asked us, what is the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together? So we're going to find the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together. Together means added, right? So what is the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla? Minus 2 degrees Celsius plus 5 degrees Celsius. So what is the answer? Minus plus minus. So 2 plus minus plus minus. So 5 minus 2 is 3. And what is the answer sign? Plus, because 5 is a greater number. So 3 degrees Celsius is the temperature of Srinagar and Shimla taken together. Right? Now they are asking us whether this temperature is lesser than the temperature of Shimla or not. Can we say that it's lesser? Yes, we can say, right? So yes, 3 degrees Celsius is less than 5 degrees Celsius, right? And then in the second part, they are asking us whether this temperature that we got is lesser than the temperature at Srinagar or not. Okay? So comparing Srinagar and this temperature, 3 degrees Celsius, which one's bigger? 3 degrees Celsius. So we can say no, because 2 degrees Celsius minus 2 degrees Celsius is lesser than 3 degrees Celsius. Right? So no, we cannot say that because minus 2 degrees Celsius is lesser than 3 degrees Celsius. Alright? So we have done the first question. In the next video, we'll be covering all the topics, all the questions of this exercise, and then we can go on to the new portion. Alright? So before that, please watch these 2 videos, study properly, and whatever you have done in this video also, make sure that before the next video, you're thorough with it. Okay? And this one, we have done the first question. The rest of the questions we'll be doing in the rest of the classes. Alright? Thank you.